All right, everybody, welcome to the live stream for the 10th of February 2024. We are back in Blender. If you are watching us on YouTube or Twitch, welcome to the show. And if you're watching us later on YouTube or Twitch, be sure to check out the live stream sometimes. The videos do not contain the whole stream. I do cut them off a little bit early so that, there are things that you have to watch the stream to see. And this is the case for this. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Please be sure you like, share, subscribe, follow, do all the fun social stuff for me. It really does help the channel out. And as I said, tonight we are back in Blender. So let's get to it. Now, you'll notice here that the model is a lot smoother. It added a skirt, and it's conforming a lot better to her body. And oops, and there's creases here where up. So how this was achieved, this look here is in the sculpting, which you're gonna say, oh no, but you did it all. No, not true. There is still plenty of work left to do in this sculpting, because what we need to do is we need to take these seams and fill them in with faces and polygons and things, and then go through again with the sculpting process that I use to smooth all this out and get it in the state that it's in to make the repairs. And back here it's really jacked, so we got to do touch-up work back here, but around her rear end, as you can see, it conforms pretty good. And that's another thing we need to do, is make the hole for her tail here complete, so that when you do the skirt and all this, it's not just clipping through it. There's an actual hole for it that it conforms around, and everything else that's built into the clothing for it. Then we'll show you how to set it up in a separate animation, so that you can very quickly in Unity add the animation to your character, so that you can make it a usable outfit. And I'll show you both methods. And what we're going to do is a little bit later, when we get the sculpting done, before we stitch all this together, what I've decided to do is we're going to make two versions. We're going to make one that has the top and bottom, and one that's going to be a one piece that we're going to weld all this together and smooth it out and make it one dress. And probably offer the one piece version for free, and the other one as a membership perk for Patreon users. You'll get both versions, and then we'll do something for a male avatar and add that to that. So, and also a free release of a male avatar piece of clothing, just to get everybody started. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start on filling in the rest of these seams here, so that we can smooth it out and get a smooth look like everything else. And then we'll tidy up around the skirt and the back here. And we're going to record 2 hours of this stream. The stream total time will be about 4 hours, so you guys make sure you're going to want to start watching the streams, because like I said, they are longer. Anyway, we're going to get to it here. We're going to start on this side and work our way up and just go from there. If anybody has any questions, be sure to ask. I am monitoring both chats. We are streaming both on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, with more to come in the near future. So, here we go. All right, let's see here. Oops. Oh, my goodness. Hello, Jonathan friend. I'm sorry, I'm having button issues here. Welcome to the stream on the YouTube side of the house for you tonight. Hey, TIE Fighter 013, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Hey, thank you for the new follow, TIE Fighter 013. It always helps us out when you do things like that, and also helps motivate us. How are things sounding on that side of the house? Everything, can you hear me okay and no problems with the sound? Yeah, I'm pretty good. Just feeling a little bit lazy today, but we're sitting here in Blender. And one thing about Blender is I've used 3D Studio Max for quite a while, and things like Lightwave and Wings 3D for years. And I've resisted Blender for so long because some of the controls are really weird, but once you get used to it, it's not so bad. It's just a little weird starting out. Having to use the handles over here because I'm not used to the keybinds and whatnot. Okay, TIE Fighter, thanks for the follow. We will see you tomorrow. And, you can catch the stream later on the YouTube or, yeah, YouTube's automatically saving it right now. So just check out the YouTube later if you want to catch what I did today before you come back tomorrow. It's no problem, man. That's how we do around here. We make sure we save things for you guys to look at later sometimes. I'll tell you what, I'll save the whole stream tonight for you, since you followed me. That'll be my gift to you. We don't mind doing things like that. Oh, geez. I'm in the wrong thing. There we go. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos and streams so far. I look forward to making more. I've got a whole game and all kinds of things. I'm going to be doing a lot of work in Blender, showing off my talents. I also do commissions for things, so, I don't mind a little cash on the side. Anyway. All right, brother. Thank you for the follow, like I said, and we will see you soon. Like I said, be sure to catch those videos on YouTube, and sometimes I put them on Rumble, and yeah, Rumble. That's the other one that I couldn't think of. Bye-bye. You have a good night. And once again, thanks a lot, brother or sister. Whichever the case may be. All right, guys, let's get into it here. So what we're going to want to do is, oops. Watch the, I'm sorry if I murder your name. I am so sorry if I murdered your name over there. Names throw me off some. Thank you for the new subscribe. Shout out to you. Enjoy watching me do this. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go in, making sure we're in object mode first so we can select the whole. Do is we're pieces like this. Every one of them. Face on. Otherwise you'll get crazy, messed up, inverted, silly things. Have to be careful with what you see. Really. Sometimes it's a challenge to get into the view that you need. Sure. But once you find protect, creating half. Hold on a minute, guys. Oops. Okay, guys. Anyway, what you're gonna want to do. Wait. What you're gonna want to do here. But difficult. But one. turn X-ray on, as you can see, it kind of makes the faces out more. Really see. We do still have work to do to fix where the faces are and things. With tidy it up, but don't worry, there's going to be plenty of later. See why it's weird angle right here where this goes down here, then edge that we need to connect to is folded back on here. Why it's such weird. Luckily, being vertices and straighten that out and pull it back from out from underneath itself. Good thing, like I said, to learn tricks like else knew that you may working with programs, so you learn how it works. So talent does help, but it's is what you know. We might just do a simple cut that out and over here. Let's pull out. Maybe not. See, these got all folded up on top of each other because they weren't attached to anything. So if you have rid of the weirdness, you have to know to look for that. Fix it. Is what it is. Why there's a Bob Ross say, try really. Put up weird. I see it. Doesn't even group. One thing I've seen to orientation that you also weigh how much difficulty you have. That's jagged edge there. Like that. See where it's over here. It's just flailing over this there, but it's so we'll make the repairs over here too while we're at it. And you thing repetition, knowing where to put things, knowing how to manipulate what you put in there. And as I said, yes, sometimes there is involved, but most of the time you're working so close up like this that who cares? You can't even tell. Oh, there's a hip there, but so what? Oh, good. Even young. Welcome. Buddy is welcome. It's a place of learning. Get out of causes you sometimes to have to come in here and fool around with get them, put them back. Yeah. But alright, as you see here, we had sort of a knot going on here, and what I'm doing is I'm taking the faces and putting them in the orientation they're supposed to be so that we can probably move all this and fix the little curl here and bring it back in line with all this. Because basically what we're doing is uncurling all this, unwrapping it basically. Because you see how it's twisted, that's the issue. And if we pull all this back out and straighten it out, it'll make a straight crease. When we go to make the one piece, we're going to weld all this together. Otherwise, it'll just, make a mess. Looks not the look we're going for. So, onward with it we go. And like I said, sometimes the trick is finding the right orientation when they're around weird. And sometimes, even if you can get them pulled out enough, you can really get them to twist in the right way. Sometimes the best bet is just to delete them and try to even out the area and then just re-extrude it. Because in edit mode, it doesn't matter what phase you're in, you can still add or subtract. That's the whole point of the edit mode in whatever master mode you're in. You can still change things to fix issues like this if you need to. Which at this point, I think this is what we're going to do with this area over here. Because it's probably going to be faster just to take everything that's all screwed up out and fix it by re-extruding and all that kind of hitting it with the sculpt tool. And because otherwise we're going to be here for days trying to flip things around and, you know, align it just right. And I mean, you can use that method if you really want to, but why? If there's no, you know, the trick here is keep it simple and work smarter, not harder. That's most of what this is. And attention to detail. So, because you see, like I said, this piece is way here in left field. By the time we would have gotten ourselves oriented enough to pull this out of here, wherever it's at, this could have been way over here and folding it this way. So sometimes it's better to cut it out and just fix it. You know, like this. I know what happened here was this was an extra face I stuck in inherently. So, but for this, we don't have to take all of this out of here. Fix this one, all we have to do is take that one edge here and move it down. And then move to the view over here, front view, and you'll see that it's pulling from, okay. You need to rotate it this way slightly, and then bring it up, and then that'll fix that. And we can put a face in there and subdivide it along with the rest of this, and that's how you fix that entire edge. Because you see how it's pulling on that one side there and twisting it, but the other side remains fairly straight, which means it's pulling to right, and it's twisting it in a weird way. So easy enough to fix. We just zoom on in here. Apologize, guys. I'm still getting used to the controls in Blender. All right, we zoom in here, and because see, if you look at it from this view, looks like it's twisted up this way, and it's really not. It's twisted inward. So whenever you have something like this that looks like this, but you're not quite sure, it never hurts to look at it from another view, because you maybe see, if you look at it from this way, I said this end is twisted in this way a little. We need to rotate this outward and then move it up some. Guys, I do apologize if sometimes I get a little tedious with these things, but some of these little bitty details matter. Now you see how we might just have to cut it out, scaling it. But anyway, so we'll just, but anyway, like I said, it's just have to look at it from different perspectives. You've got the perspective of it being hard and difficult and you'll never be able to do it, or you can look at it from the perspective of it's interesting to learn, it's challenging, it's something that, you know, new that you're learning. It's art. Once you get good enough at it, you can make a living at it, either commercially or, you know, do freelance work, or you can treat it as a hobby like any other art, or you can do like I do and use it and in creative ways that kind of pass on your knowledge and may help others with some projects. Now what? Oh, that's the viewport clipping. That's another thing, guys. You can get so close sometimes that You see how the viewport is clipping out the rest of that? You have to keep in mind that it's still there when you're deleting things, because you can easily go, oh, I need to delete that face because it's not attached to nothing. And it's really just your viewport clipping, because you're so close that it's like, okay, the camera can't get any closer without going through it. So that's what's happening there. So be mindful of that when you are doing edits, because it's even happened to me sometimes. I'll get in there and I'll be so close up subdividing something or fixing something and be like, ah, crap, there's another one. And I end up making a whole bunch of new problems for myself while I'm trying to fix the other one. Do be mindful of that. Very easy to do. But anyway, rotate around. One good way to make sure that's not just flipping it, move it around and make sure that nothing, like you see how the lens, they don't turn weird colors or nothing like that. You'll know those are vertices or faces or whatever. And it's not the viewport clipping the rest of this off. It's truly not there. It's just one of those processes that takes a while. So sit back, enjoy the music, learn other things. Okay, so all you got to do is just, like I said, right now we're gonna keep deleting these spaces. So, as you can see, guys, you're creating things like this. It does take a while. There is a lot of work involved. And it is a style of art, and there are some that will art isn't. To them, I say, okay, you do it. You spend countless hours behind the computer coming up with things and making them a three-dimensional reality. And tell me it's easy or it's not a real, shouldn't be considered real work. So, don't let anybody ever tell you that if you're doing this, or doing hard or that, because it's full of shit. It takes the crap out of me when small-minded people like that have something to say about something they know nothing about. But anyway, and no, nobody left a rude comment or anything like that, guys. Just getting my feelings out there from the get-go. I do thank everybody for us watching do these things. Now you see here, if I were to just face here, it would make a weird one. It'd be a triangle, which would then, when we go to smooth everything out again, fold back up on itself. So what you want to make sure you're doing when you're making your faces is make sure that you have all the faces, all the edges that you want the face attached to involved before you hit that. Now that face isn't going to twist up on itself like it would have if I would have left this one out. Now see if we go back and leave this one out. Well, actually, let's leave, and I'll show you what I mean. Now if you hit F, it fills in a face there, then make another face. If you hit F, oh no, you're stuck. So what you would have to do is select this one, then hit F again, and it'll fill that face in. Now, if this is like on the very edge like this one, and we weren't planning to attach this to the bottom piece or, you know, anything like that, then that would be fine. Because that's an edge piece, and okay, it doesn't really matter for some things. But if it's like way down deep in here, it would, because that would cause it to, when it solves for the cloth, it comes up with a weird portion here that causes it to fold up on itself. So that's why, you know, you want to make, you know, yes, we subdivide them and things like that, but it all starts with a good base. And if you catch mistakes like this early when you're first doing this, it will reduce headaches later on, big time. You know, trust me on that one. So, when we do that, we're just going to Control Z and then hit Control Z again. Delete that edge, I'm sorry. Then we reselect and then, you know, do what we've been doing. So, you keep that in mind when you're replacing faces, stitching things back together. or closing seams that you may have for doing. Okay. Now, one doesn't all. See, with that, I selected that entire side there, right? Now, maybe I'll be lucky. Get the proper to the rest of it. Catch all vision. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll shift alt like this one. Looks like the entire other side. Now what we can do is hit F, fill entire seam up. See how we did that. And one thing that's, well, the thing about it is we didn't want it to fill the entire seam, because that's actually a sleeve. So what we need to do, you see how it's all curled up here, is we're going to have to do some work to straighten this up, straighten this out up here. Same thing with over here on this strap. Then we're probably going to have, what we'll do is we'll leave it like that so we know where the other side of it is, right? That makes it easier. And as we're working, then we'll just delete we'll subdivide this, and then when we're ready to smooth it out again, we'll just remove the faces that we don't need from what we've subdivided in the sleeve and make it hollow again, make the hole there again for her arm to go through. And that will leave this side thing here, this entire side here. What we'll do is we'll stop right here, maybe make a few really quick subdivisions along where the seam would be, up here where the hole for the sleeve would start, where you put your arm through. Tidy that up, and then when we smooth all that back out, that will fix the issues along here with this curling up, and it'll smooth it back out like it is on the other side. It'll bring this all back together, and once we get everything edge fit. So that's where we're going with that, and that's probably And the thing is, we're going to end up doing similar for this back strap here, because it ended up only hanging on by a thread on this side. So we're going to have to fill in polygons here and subdivide it so that this strap is actually attached, because it looks like the stitching became detached here because I might have forgotten, updated on one of the sides or something like that. But as I said, it's a lot of tedious little fixing at this point. So we're going to be actually working on this part of repairs for, I would say, a good couple days at least. Because one thing you'll notice is the further along you get out of this for the time being, take X-ray off. The further along you get in your project, the better it looks and things like that. I mean, I could leave these open and it would look perfectly fine. In fact, it would, on the skirt, it actually kind of looks like it's part of the design. And on the skirt, because the skirt doesn't have nearly as many issues as top does, I might just do that. I might leave the skirt with the side stitching, because you do see that in fashion, where, on the side it's a little open, so maybe I'll put, little strappy things that, okay, there's one there, and then one here. I'll put a few faces in there so it leaves most of this open like some of the styles you see today, because the skirt actually really good. And that was actually fairly simple to do. And you see it conforms pretty well. I mean, there's a little bit of weirdness here I'm going to have to fix, but, you know, and like I was saying, we're going to have to do some work over here to put an actual hole for her tail, you know, so it doesn't just look all janky and just jammed through there and, well, her hair covers it so nobody is going to see it. Well, actually, you're incorrect, because the shader on this hair, it looks like this in Blender, but no, it looks like actual hair VRChat. So yes, you will see the back end here. If it's all janky, you know, that's bad form, man. You don't want that. If you're going to put stuff out for people and promote yourself, you know, you want to do a good job. You don't want to rush things. And I mean, yeah, the first time you see down here how it kind of automatically conforms when you fill it in that way. But really, to smooth this out, like the rest of it, all we really need to do is put a subdivision in there and it'll blend right in, and there's no further work needed as far as that part of the skirt is concerned. We got a few holes to fill in, whoops. But as you can see, those are little ones that won't take very long at all. Those will take absolutely no time at all to fix. If we look at those in X-ray view. Where'd they go? But anyway. So yeah, as you can see, there's plenty of stuff I have left to do that will show you the techniques that I did use to get to this point here to smooth everything out the way it is on the skirt and the rest of the blouse. Blouse, that's what that thing's called. Sorry, I'm not a girl. I don't know what girl clothes are called. But yeah, so all right, that's what we're going to be doing for the next little while. So enjoy the music, and if I think of anything else along the way, I will let you know. If you have any questions or would like to comment or even talk about whatever while we're doing this, that's fine. I'm down for that because you know, as you can see, it gets a little tedious, and I'm open to man, I'm losing things here. Hang on, guys. I only have 2 screens and I've got 30,000 different things open. Not 30,000, but I'm sure you guys can imagine. Okay. So, here we go. If you are just joining us on YouTube or Twitch, we are back in Blender. So you're like, well, I already recorded a bunch of stuff about where we're at. Thank you for joining us. If you missed it, it will be available after the stream in video on demand for you to catch up on, as we always do. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. It really does help us. We are trying to build a community with the Solis Gaming Network now. This is also going to be part of a series I'm doing that, you know, a little bit of instructional stuff. That goes along with my development project in VRChat that I'm building for everybody to enjoy as well. So how cool is that, guys? So that's one thing I also wanted to bring up, is if you guys have suggestions like that you may want to see in something that I'm creating in VRChat or for a game, or feel free to let me know in the comments. I do not mind. Or if you have criticisms, or, you know, please feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know in the chat. Whatever, whatever means you care to let me know. I don't mind at all. So we're going to go back into edit mode. That's where we were before. And get back at it. All right, where were we? Oh, shoot. Okay. Which side were we on? Yeah, oh, there it is. I see where we were. All right. Now, one thing I do want to mention is this base model here is not one of mine. It is not. So I cannot take credit for the base model that I am fitting the clothes on. Simply using her as a mannequin, but the skirt and the top, yeah, that's 100% me, as you can see in the videos. And the reason I did start with a general purpose what's the word I'm looking for? General purpose one, base model. Jeez. During the initial phases of this, just to get the general proportions right. And then one thing you really do want to do is what I'm doing here is you want to switch out, maybe other people's avatars so that you'll know that, what you're making works on more than just one base. It works with it has a universal fit to most, as, most custom models or most other models that are released for free are based on a general purpose base that everybody uses. So that's one good thing that you want to do, is make sure it works on other bases, which is the reason why we switched out from the general purpose base to this one. Now, if you would like to download this model, and I will give credit to the creator of the model itself, the female model. As soon as I remember where I put the stuff that told me that. Anyway, the main thing is that you don't take credit for things that aren't yours. So don't do that. But anyway, oh, look, see, and oh, that's her hair doing. Yeah, or her tail. Anyway, so back to what we were doing. Okay, so we just fixed up that entire side. So what we need to do is we have to go in here again. That's why we were. Wait. So we'll take a look at what's going on over here. All right. That's a little. There it is. Okay. Okay, so it looks like okay. So it looks like what we're gonna do is we'll subdivide from between here, and we'll take that out of there. And then We'll take a look at the faces. It doesn't look like there's going to need much moving around in here. It's just kind of resting close to each other. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go in through this way, because you see this whole side here, we can do the faces up to here and go all the way down, and bam, we're done with that side. That side's pretty good over here. Then we can move on to fixing this stuff over here on this side. But we're going to zip through here to do that, and then when we turn around, then we'll subdivide this, take that out of there, and come back out. See, it's kind of like you're a surgeon. Kind of cool. So in we go. Ooh, and that's the thing. But if, whoops. Okay, and now, whoa. If that happens, just back right back out, yourself up. Okay. So again, hold down the Alt key, and it'll select all those, and then Shift Alt, and then select the other side. Now you see on, and now you want to look at it, because it missed some, well, now it's got some interesting things going on there, but it should be okay. So we'll go ahead and put the faces on, and you see that time. Now, wait, what we'll do, we'll back out of doing it that way, back up a bit, and then Shift Alt, oops. Whoops. Okay, so what we're going to have to do for this one, because it wants to do some weirdness, is we'll select the one way down here. And up here. Put the faces up. Oops. Search the faces. See how it doesn't work right. So we're going to have to do this a long way. Because those are triangular. So, here we go. Okay, so now with that side of it repaired, he actually touched up. The polygons go all the way up the side here. Now when we come back through here, when we're sculpting it, that will all smooth out and convert arm. Now we're going to do something similar with all these rough edges. We're going to go through and get rid of things that don't really make sense and things that are making it look like a tattered rag like this here. We're going to smooth out the strap here, you know, and make it so that this actually will attach. Excuse me. So, like I said, there'll be plenty of, you see this side here, we need to, let's see what it looks like with the x-ray. Yeah, this is the side that's only got one thread, so we're going to have to connect all this. And then when we come through here with the sculpting tool, it will shrink all this up and conform it and make it into the nice, smooth, rounded edges that are round on the front. For how they're nice rounded. It'll make all these conform. And that's how we got this hole here. That's just it's more of a rounded. Like that together, because basically what you're doing, you can look at it like this. You're a virtual tailor that you're coming in here and you're making clothing, making the shape conform to a model, whether it be male, female, animal, dragon, alien, whatever kind of thing you're working on. And, you know, you have to view it from that point of view, because really it's just like I am taking this tattered, abused blouse that somebody brought me and said, hey, can you fix this? And I'm coming through and doing it and stitching it back together, like almost like you would in real life. Because this whole edge here is going to be reconnected to this rough edge here that it tore away from. You know, just like you would do in real life, because you see that's why this looks like a tattered rag, is because it separated on this side, made it separate over here too. Because remember, we used a mirror tool to create one side of the clothing, which is then mirrored, and then once it's applied, it's a whole object, and then you refine it from there. We're doing now. So that is the reason why, yeah, like I said, it's just like you're repairing an actual blouse in real life. You have to think of it like this, because if you look at the way this is shaped, and you look at this, it's kind of the opposite. So you'll know that, hey, I need to reconnect all these edges here to these edges here. That way when I come through here with the sculpt tool, it'll pull all this back together, and it'll be the strap that it was meant to be that goes across the middle of her back here. Because this strap that's down here, as you can see, was meant to go across here. And when you fix that, it'll also tighten up these little scrumples here. You notice I'm not spending much time around this little bunched up stuff, because when you fix all this, and then you come back through here with the sculpting tool that has the cloth modifier applied to the brush, it will pull all this back into shape like you want it to be. So like I said, this really is in some ways like you are a virtual fashion designer. How cool is that, guys? So anyway, back to what we were doing. Oh, shoot. Lost. Okay, so now, as you can see, we got this side all stitched up and ready to go. Well, looks like we missed a polygon. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come back through and Oh, wait. That could just be the... That's just the X-ray shading. So, we're going to come through and fix all this. So, turn the X-ray. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, guys, you notice how when you're in the local view, it's a lot easier to navigate around than, well, it's in the default right here, but something I switched to local proximity. But, oh, I think I made it adaptive or something like that. But that allows you to, thing is, when you grab the, oh, that's what it is. You grab the edge of these, right? You're rotating the local view. So it makes it easier to, you see how I'm not rotating all the way around her, I'm just rotating in where I'm at. But if you grab it out here, how did that work? Never mind. I'm silly. Never mind. Okay, that was probably an incorrect statement, so that's the reason for the warning, guys. I hope you like the way that's worded. I tried to have a little humor in my life, and everybody else's. But anyway, back to what we were doing. That was probably totally incorrect, so I digress. Never mind. Like I said, I'm still... Geez, I wish I would have known about that. Covered that earlier. Anyway, as I said, I'm still learning Blender, as I'm sure some of you are as well. So, hey guys, I guess we'll learn together in some things. Okay. Alright, back to what we were doing. Okay, guys, I want to point out something. I'm going to use a different method to repair this. And instead of just putting a face in here, what I'm going to do is similar to the way that we got the rest of these themes to come together. Is we're going to connect the edge loops in there, except this time, because we've already got the cloth modifier applied and all that kind of stuff to the rest of this, what we're going to do is we're going to leave the faces in. That way, when we come back and hit it with the sculpt tool, it will conform a little bit easier. It'll make life a little bit easier later for when we're shrinking everything down and reforming it, sculpting it that way. And in all honesty, it's a faster way to do it, because that way the subdivisions are already in it that it needs to be a strap. And when we hit it with the sculpting tool, it will then conform better and fill in the rest of what we need. Now, one thing I wanted to using this method is because we took the time to select all of our edges individually and now they're grouped together. What we can go ahead and do is we can use if my assumption, we should be able to rotate this around, fly way back out, and select Alt for one side of this, and Shift Alt should add this side. Oh well, no, that never mind. That'll make it do something weird. I don't want it. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna connect these edge loops, and then I said this time just leave the faces in them, because when we X-ray off and rotate around, you will see that although it does need moved back out, but the face is already in it. That way, when we smooth it out, it will fill all that in the easy way instead of going through and making a whole bunch of them. So that's another method you could use to speed things along. And even though it's clipping through, like I said, what we can do is go back into our, to get that out of the way right quick, as an example, we just hit Control Z with all of those faces selected and simply just move them out. Move them out here so that they're no longer clipping into her body. And we might have to grab those from inside there and do the same thing. And just move them out away from her body. And then when you come back through here with the sculpting tool, it'll actually shape it to her body instead of this side of her body instead of the back side. Just something I forgot to mention, guys. I'm sorry. So, what we want to do, because we know we want to go back into X-ray. That way we can see what we've already got selected, right? And then, since we know we're going to have to move a little bit more out from her body, because we can see where her body is in the X-ray. What we'll do is we'll come in here. Looks like, okay, that would be a good angle to, well, see, this is the weird, funky. So what we'll do is we'll Control Z this back into place, right? And then, oops. Ah, dang it. I didn't mean to do that. Good thing we have a redo button. Do over. All right, so with those selected, let's see what else we may have to. Okay, so it looks like what we need to do here's what we'll do. We'll change this to face editing mode, right? So that way we select not only just the edges and vertices, but the whole face we need to move out. And what we'll do is we'll just multi-select a bunch of them because it's really this whole area that needs moved out. Instead of thinking around with moving each and every one of those polygons, we'll just grab a whole group of them and then rotate around. Turn X-ray off so we can see where we need to move it. Oh, looks like we got a few wayward ones. See, anything that gets left behind is one that, whoopsie. So we'll just Control Z, turn X-ray back on, see where our weird ones are at, and deselect them. And because this way, you see what you can do is, okay, so we're attached to some of the weirdness. Okay. So here's what we can do. We'll Control Z that back into place. Oh, I see what it is. It's these points that, okay, so what we're going to have to do, forgot to trim those out of there. So these little wayward, guess you could call them hairs. Why don't we just call them hairs? Because they do look like little hairs. Like that, oh geez, that stick out and you miss when you're shaving. Whisker hairs or whatever. Let's just call them little hairs. So what we're going to have to do, well, we're not to that part yet, but we're going to have to go through and get rid of all those little hairs. But first and foremost, looks like this is really a wayward one. So we can just get rid of that altogether. And see, it leaves a whisker down here. So to get rid of those, you have to go back into edge select mode because that's what we're working with. Only edges and faces because you know the vertices, when you delete the edges and faces, they go away anyway. And as we did before in the modeling phase, when we wanted to get rid of wayward vertices and edges and stuff, you just go through and take them out. So you'll have good edges and faces to work with, and you're not having stuff trying to calculate way out here like a wild hair up its you know what, because essentially that's what those cause. Oops. And if you make a mistake, just Control Z and you'll back right out of it and you start one step back from where you were. Don't worry. You know, I may look this, make this look easy, and I know it may, you know, I might say things in a way that, you know, may sound like I'm assuming some of you know what I'm talking about, and if it ever does seem like that, I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound weird or, you know, obnoxious in any kind of way. We like us a happy little modeling session because, you know, one thing, oh, see, now we got to fill it. See, that's where the problem is because those are not filled in with polygons. Those don't have any faces, so that's going to cause some weirdness with the lines or the edges being left behind because it's not, they don't have faces. All right, so we'll get back to that. Right now we're trimming wayward hairs. Yeah. How about because she's a chick, we're getting rid of body hair that she doesn't want. We'll just look at it that way. We're grooming. I don't know. Shit. You guys think of something and let me know in the comments below. Which reminds me, guys, we are also streaming on YouTube. If you do miss any of these streams or anything like that, you can catch us on YouTube, our video on demand. We are recording our live streams so that if you do miss something important, you can find it there always. Or if, you want to share the videos to your friends and help me spread the word and help me with the algorithm, that would be awesome too, because, they're always messing with it. Leave it alone. Like they don't know the meaning of the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't freaking fix it, you boneheads. Because every time they jack around with it, then we got to bug our people to, hey, do this. I know everybody's saying it and you all get tired of hearing it, but they're jacking around with it again. So, but anyway, please do all that social stuff for me. It does actually help out the channel. And I know I rant a lot about that, but they are making some really good changes for us. They're adding some things that I think are going to help a lot of people. And some people have mixed feelings about it, but I say, bring it on. Let's learn how to use these new tools that they're wanting us to use. And, a lot of people get upset about, oh, well, you got to do this, that, and the other. No, you just be yourself, man. Be yourself. Because let me tell you something. If you're not being yourself, your viewers are going to know. You can only hide that shit for so long before, people are going to figure it out. So just be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Whenever you're broadcast videos or first time ever hitting the record button. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't embrace you. Sometimes now you see what I did there. Instead of just deleting all this crap, you look at it from another view, you see that's where the edge of that strap is, so we can just move that out. Where it needs to be. These two, we can do the same. Instead of deleting them and making a new face, and there's no need to do that. Anyway, be afraid to just, the way I talk. What? And a lot of people will ask me, why don't you have a camera? People like to see you. Because that's personal preference. Has a lot to do with my PTS and some other things. There's reasons why. It has to do with the way I feel about the way I look and all that. So, but okay, you don't have to have a face. Have a face, if you know what I mean. One of the things. Now these we are going to delete. Not attached to anything, and we really don't need to make any polygons. The edge of the strap looks pretty. It just needs straightened out a bit, but that's what we're doing. We're just going to get rid of those extra hairs. We like to decided we're going to call those. We don't. Oh, button. There we go. But anyway, guys. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Yes. Don't try to force it. Well, no. Hit the wrong. Apparently, I can't talk and do at the same time. There we go. So, see, this is one of those instances I was talking where it folded over. If you look at this, this is actually a really good example. You can see where that vertices just doesn't quite know what to, right there. Doesn't quite know what to do with it. What we're going to do is we're going to take this line of vertices of edges right here and just bring it out so that this fold will undo itself, and then it'll fix this strap for all the way along here once we get these hairs out of the way. We might have to pull some of it out and rear. But like I said, yes, but me, this is relaxed, believe it or not. But you wouldn't think it would. And what you get out of it, really. Anyway, we are going to continue. If you guys are just joining us on Facebook, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, follow, hit that notification bell. But that way you do know when I am online and when I post my video on demand content in case you do miss a stream. Follow us on Patreon. Please consider a subscription over there at Patreon for as little as $3 a month. You can have extra perks and little extra giveaways and things that I do. Give away merchandise that's specifically related to the Solis Gaming Network. So be sure you check that out. And thanks to everybody that has followed, subscribed, shared, and everything else. I appreciate you. Please keep it going. Because what it boils down to, guys, is you're really helping a veteran that really needs the help. So I do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Anyway, back to what we're doing. I'm sorry I don't get happy like that very often, but sometimes it does have to be said. It is appreciated when everybody supports me. It really does encourage me. So, we've got this little wayward crease here that we're dealing with. See, as you can, that's actually in the view, it's raising and lowering so we gotta, that is gonna cause issues. So what we need to do, grab this edge. Weird. Wait. So this is creased here. So what we're gonna do, this one needs to be rotated a little bit. Oop, not that way. And see, this is one of those things I was telling you about with the weird angles that you have to. Sometimes there's really no way to exactly figure it out, so you have to guesstimate. So we need to rotate it. There we go. Now you see, if we rotate it back into place, you see how this, and we rotate it back out. As it rotates, there we go. You see how that unfolds. These polygons up here, it brings them back out, and instead of being curled underneath, now they're back out in the front where they need to be. And when we grab them, see, there's another one right there that needs to be, oh, that's this edge. But anyway, it brings them out so that when we this one probably, wait, yeah, that's another weird one. We're gonna have to add from a different angle. Okay, all right, I see. So we need to rotate this way a bit, and bring this one back in line this way. Then you look at it. Ooh, see, that's you. I will tell you one thing, guys. You do have to make sure sometimes you don't get motion sickness or something. Because the way you have to, some of the weird angles, weird ways you have to turn things will really mess with you. Okay, so rotating. That should have, yeah, right way. See, that's all weird because that face isn't attached to things. So what we'll do, here's what we'll do. We'll rotate this way, and we'll add a face here. Oops. Okay. Whoops. That's not where we needed to. Try that again. So, and whoop, that one. All right, now that, okay, there we go. Now when we bring this edge out, good. Yep, there we go. All right. Now this one we need to rotate a bit. Touch. Oh, I don't think that's not the right act. See, this is, like I said, this is the really weird. There we go. Oh, okay. So now when we bring these two edges out, and then we should be able to pull this one out. Pull this one out a little bit. That's a little weird, but I think that's just because the face. Yeah, we just need to pull this edge out. Yep. Oh. Oh. And that one needs rotated again because we moved it a bit. And also you can scale these. I mean, that's what edit mode is for. It's edit, Fix what you need to fix. All right, there. And we're almost done with unfolding this edge. And it doesn't have to be perfect at this point because, like I said, when we come back through here with the sculpting tool, it's going to even this all back out where we want it. What we need to do at this point is just make sure we have faces that are exposed enough that when we do run the tool over it, if it's in the general shape it needs to be, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to spend too much time making it super perfect, the exact right shape. No, that's what that tool is for. As long as it has a surface area to work with, you're good. That's not folded up, which is why we're just moving these just a tad, and instead of going all gung-ho and going ham on it, you just need to move them to where the tool has exposure to the face that it's applying the modifier to. Then it'll take care of the rest for it. We've still got one or two that we need to rotate right here, and that should take care of that edge right there. We need to go through and get our hairs. So that's what we're going to do for the time being. So that's how we're thinking about those guys. Let's get rid of them. Now, there's also one. I do want to tell you guys I do try to show multiple methods of doing things. Sometimes, like how I'm fixing these little errors and spots you have to touch up to make things look really good and demonstrate that it really isn't so much difficult to do this. It's time consuming, and yes, it does take a fair amount of talent to be able to be creative to come up with new things. And you guys will see me come up with new and entirely new avatars from scratch. Also, don't get me wrong. This isn't the only thing I'm going to be showing you is making clothing. But this is more of an introductory type thing for those that have always wanted to be able to do something like this, and nobody's really, sure, there's other videos out there about how to do this and, different various methods. But the thing is, sometimes they just, I don't know. So, yes, I show every grainy detail of how to do this, but, there are some people that need that. Some people want to see the entire process down to moving each little pixel around sometimes. And that's fine. Because like I said, to people like that and myself, this is actually really relaxing. Okay, so this looks good enough for now. That looks a little funky, but it'll be fine. So we're just going to keep going through here. Oh, so many hairs to get rid of. Oops. Move our extraneous edges. Yes, I know that was one down there, but that's okay. It was one that we need to remove sooner or later anyway. Okay, so this is starting to look really good and really clean. And here in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to take a short break, and then we will be back with everybody. Please, in the meantime, consider checking out our Patreon as well. $3 a month, you can help support the channel, and, you get access to member-only perks such as live streams without commercials. Yeah, cool stuff like that. Video on demand that is unique only to subscribers, as well as subscriber-only live streams and other perks like VIP areas in our VRChat environments, as well as other cool things that I have in the works. So make sure you check that out, and please do the like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you do know when I'm on or do post another video. Alright guys, I'm going to take about a 10-minute break at this point, and then we'll get right back to it.
Hey guys, this is SD Cora, reminding you to hit the like, subscribe, and the follow button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll know when Solis posts new content and keep up with everything. Alright guys, I'll be seeing more of you later, and you'll be seeing more of me later. Alright guys, see you later. Bye!
Well, that was a word from SD Cora. She decided to tonight. She's been working a little bit on some things herself. Look out for a new show coming from her where she's going to be exploring various places inside of VRChat and things like that. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be really cool. We're going to feature that in the YouTube and maybe on Rumble. Don't know yet. We'll figure out where to put her. Anyway, I will return in about 5 to 10 minutes. We are taking a short lunch break and then we'll get back at it. Yeah, guys, she really didn't have a script, so she's really not used to it. She hasn't done much as far as like streaming or anything, so she's gonna want to give it. You guys are gonna want to give her a good welcome because of too. So anyway, I'm sure she'll be fine once she gets used to the way we stream and learns more about it. Okay. Anyway, I shall return shortly.